What is up, guys? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're covering some more, you guessed it, am I the butthole. If you're new here, please consider hitting the like, that subscribe, and maybe, just maybe, that notification bell too, as it all really helps out our channel. And don't forget you can follow us on podcast too now, so you can take me with you wherever you go. And also you can support the channel either by clicking that join button below for YouTube membership, or heading on over to Patreon where we have different tiers of membership and things like that. And before we go any further, a huge thank you to Pink Monster. Thank you so much for joining us on Patreon yesterday. Your support is truly appreciated, as well as the rest of the subscribers and everyone on this channel. You know, I say it every single time, but your support is absolutely amazing and I can't thank you enough for that. Thank you very much. And with that being said, let's get in to today's stories, because that's what you're here for. Our first story comes from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for not paying for my siblings to go to uni? I'm 29 female, my siblings are 19 female and 19 female, twins and 17 male. About a year ago, I won a rather large amount of money. Since then, I've paid off my mortgage, bought a rental home, paid for my parents to spend 2 months on holiday, paid off their mortgage, and bought each of my younger siblings either a car or, in the case of my brother, a motorbike. I've recently started planning my wedding to my partner of 4 years. Originally, we were going to have a very low budget wedding because neither of us were particularly wealthy and have little financial support from our parents. Hers are homophobic and mine are just not well enough to spend money on a wedding, but now we plan on having a slightly bigger wedding. However, during these discussions, my mother has been getting increasingly upset at the amount I'm spending. Wedding will be around 40 to 50k, all up including honeymoon, and partner is contributing 12k, so it's not like we're spending an astronomical amount, and has repeatedly suggested that we stick to our low budget plans and give money to her for my siblings' college funds instead. These comments have been confusing me because she has told me in the past that she got 20k when I was born to put towards my college fund from her parents, and then 10k for each of my siblings. I got through college on scholarships and my part-time job, so presumably she has 50k already for my siblings' college fund. This came to a head about a week ago when she came with me to go to my fitting for my wedding dress and she saw the price tag. 3k. She had a complete meltdown in the store about me wasting money and how she needed it, and I confronted her about the college fund. She admitted that she and my dad spent the money on trips away, alcohol and gambling, and now there was almost nothing left. I said if she wasted 50k meant for her children's college funds, then why should I give her any more? At this point she stormed out after throwing a glass of wine on my dress that cost $300 to clean, and has since said that she's not coming to my wedding and will stop my dad / siblings from coming. Am I the arsehole here? Oh my god. What a mother. That mother is an absolute arsehole. I mean, going back to the beginning, the amount of money you spent on your siblings, like you bought them cars, you've given them holidays. It's not like you've given them nothing, you know, and you didn't have to give them anything to begin with. The entitlement in this story is absolutely insane, and that she gets upset about it and throws a glass of wine on your dress that you have to pay for in the end. I mean, fucking hell. I think if I was in that situation, someone kept hinting at me all the time to give them money for certain things, it would just turn me the other way completely, and I'd be more inclined not to, just because they're almost like begging for it constantly. Especially when they took the previous amount of money and spent it on themselves on gambling and beer and stuff like that. I mean, nah, not for me. Not the arsehole in this situation, and that mother, you know, if she's gonna act like that, screw her. Not literally. Let's go down into the comments below to see what we can find. El Pescarado says, not the arsehole. It's no way in your fault or responsibility that your mother squandered her own children's college fund. If you want to help your siblings through college, it should be at your discretion and not her demand. Some random ghost replies to this saying, I agree, I absolutely hate it when people waste their money on stuff like this and get mad when no one helps them. It's not OP's fault that her parents spend 50k on gambling, trips and stuff, so she is not obligated to give her mother anything. Like the person above said, if you want to help your siblings, it's up to you. Just give it to your siblings directly rather than your parents though. Chances are, they might waste that too. OP, you're not the arsehole. Sagarfio also replies to this saying, she also paid off her parents' mortgage. Unless their income has decreased substantially, they should be able to contribute at least an equivalent amount to their kids' college fees. They could even take out a new mortgage to pay for it, although it doesn't sound like they're good enough with money to manage a lump sum over several years. Not the arsehole. SCM replies, not the arsehole, she's toxic. It's money for your future, you've already done more than enough for your family. Your brothers can work hard and get a scholarship, or do what most do, take out loans and work. If you let them ride your coattails, you won't be helping them in the long run. Leah replies to this saying, totally agree, the money she has left would be better used for setting up a fund for her own future kids' college, not for her siblings. Even after more what she has already given to all of her family. She's building her own family, that should be a priority from now on, not the arsehole. It would have been kind of interesting to know what the actual siblings think of all this, in like being in the middle of it all, because you don't hear much of what, are they thinking that they should deserve some more money or not. I don't know. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 1. Now we have one that's almost like the opposite way round. It was quite close to this one in post. I thought, is it the mother actually putting a post up as well? But you understand when I read the title. This next story is from Snoo75036. Am I the arsehole for asking my daughter to contribute to her siblings' college funds? You get that? See? It's not the same story though. I, 50 female, have 3 children. 30 female, 17 male and 16 female. My oldest has a different father from the other 2 and was obviously fairly grown once her siblings were born. I will admit that during her teen years, my oldest took a lot of babysitting duties in the house. I worked during the afternoons and evenings, so she would pick the babies up from daycare and watch them till I got home at night. This unfortunately has led to my daughter and I having somewhat of a strained relationship as she's become an adult. She has told me that I used her as a second parent and that it caused her a lot of stress and stunted her social life during adolescence. I know that I made mistakes as a mother during that time. We were struggling financially. She always seemed eager to help with the babies, but I shouldn't have taken advantage of her like that. We've discussed it a lot in the years since, and though we still have problems between us, I like to think our relationship has made progress. Since graduating college, my daughter has become a financial consultant with an excellent salary. I'm incredibly proud of her and everything she's achieved. As someone who myself never attended college and who has lived near the poverty line my entire life, it's so rewarding to see my daughter move up in the world. As my younger 2 children have been approaching college, however, I've been beginning to question how I'm possibly going to pay to put them through school. In all likelihood, they'll have to take out heavy student loans. I'd like to avoid this if at all possible. We all know how damaging student debt can be to young people. I approached my oldest and asked her whether she might be willing to contribute somewhat to her siblings' tuition. I emphasised that she could absolutely say no, or we could discuss the possibility of us paying her back over a period of years. I said multiple times that I was only asking because I wanted to consider all options, but if she wasn't comfortable with it, I would drop it and look for alternatives. My daughter became very upset with me. She said it was entirely inappropriate for me to ask, and that the only reason I would ever consider asking is because I've always considered her a second parent rather than a child. She said that my asking her for this has shown her that I've never learned from my parenting mistakes when she was a teenager. But I really don't think it's the same thing. Like, honestly, she's rich. She has the money. I don't think it's absurd that I might ask her if she's willing to do me a favour for the sake of her siblings. Especially since I made it very clear I wouldn't be angry or upset if she said no. Thoughts? Edit. I put this in a comment, but since people have asked about either my children's fathers or how my oldest paid for school. My oldest was put through school by her father. He lives across the country and would visit occasionally when she was growing up, though he never had custody. He offered to pay for her schooling as sort of a apology for not being present when she was young. I don't see him, but they have some amount of contact nowadays. The younger 2 have the same father. He ran off after my youngest was born. Haven't heard anything from him since. I couldn't tell you where he might be now. I'm going to come out with my initial feelings about the OP, and you know, I do feel a bit sorry for them that they must have gone through life paycheck to paycheck kind of thing and struggling. But you know, it doesn't excuse the way that you've treated your daughter. It would have been interesting to know what age you started to use her as a babysitter and she had to pick up the other kids and things like that. And I personally know how a stunted social life can really damage a person. Believe me, I've been there in a different way to this story, but I've totally been there. And I was sort of, not 50-50, I'd say I was 60-40 against OP until I got to the part where it said, like, honestly, she's rich, she has the money. And then it totally landslided against OP for me. I hate it when people talk like that. She talks about being incredibly proud of her and then just talks about money. That just went to, that's all she's interested in. That's all it came to me. So I got to say, OP is the arsehole in this situation. I do feel for the kids and I do feel slightly for OP as well. But let's have a look in the comments to see what we can find. Moongirl12 said, "You're the arsehole. You admit to yourself you took advantage of your daughter when she was younger and now have the gall to ask her to parent her siblings again. She's right. You asking was extremely inappropriate." Pretty Frickin' Chill says, "You're the arsehole. Summed up by 2 sentences. Like, honestly, she's rich, she has the money. You used her as a second parent, now you want her to pay for their college." And then quotes again, "So they didn't have the burden of student loans. And because she's rich, it's not a favour to ask someone to drop tens of thousands on college for kids they barely related to. The more I read it, the more your post and attitude towards your daughter disgusts me." Namey Amy says, "Ugh, those lines made me rage for a hot minute. She may be making more money than mum, or maybe budgeting / spending / managing money better than mum, but rich is so subjective. I really doubt her daughter is telling her mum details about salary and saving and all that. I highly doubt that daughter makes enough money to where paying college tuition for 2 people count as a favour. Damn, I gotta just say," says, "You're the arsehole. She succeeded in spite of you, and now you want her to keep picking up your slack. You haven't learned anything from your earlier shortcomings as a parent." Which Plucky Monkey Moo says, "This exactly. The daughter's success is from her overcoming the hurdles of her mother set in place for her. This angers me so much. She doesn't seem to be a mother to this child at all. I hope her daughter moves far, far, far away, as this will never stop. She will eventually be guilted into self-destruction and supporting her mother's choices permanently." And you know, when you read more and more of those comments and they're raging against the mother, you know, you sort of go, yeah, the mother is like a proper asshole after this. Oh, wow. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 2. Our next story is from a throwaway account. "Am I the arsehole for not showing up to my daughter's birth because my fiance lied? My fiance, 29, gave birth yesterday, went into labour the day before at around 11:30 PM. She confessed to me, 21 male, about 2 months ago that she lied about the baby being a boy that was actually a girl. Since then, I've hated her on and off for that lie, especially because she accused a woman in my family of being treated badly. When she went into labour, I was on a trip and had a meeting with an investor early the next morning to show them the prototype my team and I have. My mother-in-law told me to cancel it, but I was so angry she got my hopes up for a boy and straight up lied about the sex for a good month that I said I wasn't giving up a possible investment when my fiance and I are on bad terms. Since then, I've got a mean text from my fiance. My fiance works at a tech company and she said the stress of our 4 fights has made her go part-time way before she had maternity leave. She said I ruined my family, especially since I was investing my time into a startup app that was still in iteration, i.e. not making money at the moment. Am I the asshole? I really don't know where to go with this one, apart from like, the only one who's going to suffer in this one is the baby being born. I know they're going to remember this, but you know, it's not a good way to start life, is it? But one of the particular lines that stood out to me when he was saying like, especially because she accused the women in my family of being treated badly, and then he does this, and I'm like, well, kind of, maybe she's right. I don't know though. We're gonna go straight into the comments below to see what we can see. Taco Belly says, "My dude, the person you're punishing here the most is your poor child. You can't take back the birth and you can't change their sex at birth. No wonder your fiance didn't want to tell you. You're going to regret this. The arsehole also has a new ruling for you. YTHA, you're the huge arsehole." Artist Dude Mayhaps says, "You're the arsehole. She shouldn't have lied, but obviously she feared if you knew the truth, you wouldn't come, and you didn't. You literally proved her right." And quotes, "She got my hopes up for a boy." What? It's the birth of your child and you missed it because you wanted it to be a boy. It's your child regardless. If not for your wife, be there for your kid. Jesus. Yeah, I didn't even think about that actually. Like, why didn't she want to tell him to begin with? Was it because she feared that he wouldn't turn up if it was a girl? Which obviously he didn't. Wow, yeah, I didn't even think of that one. Poe Jalen says, "You're the arsehole because you missed the birth of your child, because you're on bad terms with the mother at the moment. You will never get to experience that again. You're the arsehole for being disappointed that you had a girl. And if this is how you react to finding out you're having a girl, then your wife is probably right about the way women are treated in your family. You're the arsehole for holding onto this anger for months instead of working through it. And you're the arsehole for obviously missing the doctor appointments during your wife's pregnancy, or you would have found out the sex of the baby when she did." Oh God, yeah, I didn't even think of that. They could have found out for a scan and obviously he wasn't there. Ooh, this is revealing a lot more about OP then. than we first thought. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 3. And obviously, I'm probably incredibly wrong for what I said. Our next story comes from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for getting angry at my sister because she refused to share a bed with my girlfriend? My 28 male parents own a beach house. We stayed there for a couple of days to celebrate the 4th of July. The house has 2 bedrooms. My parents stayed in one. The other room was for me, my girlfriend of 1 year, 32 female, my brother 34 male, and my little sister 23 female. The room has 2 double beds. After dinner, I took a walk with my girlfriend. When we got back to the room, my brother and sister were on one bed. He was sleeping, she was playing with her Switch. I asked her nicely if she could stay on the other bed beside my girlfriend, so I could stay beside my brother. She said no. We grew up in a Catholic family. This means no sex before marriage, and I would rather not sleep on the same bed as my girlfriend to avoid temptation. So I was hoping my sister would understand. I tried to explain to her, but she got progressively more annoyed. She was so noisy that she woke up my brother, who asked what the problem was. I explained it to him too, but he sided with my sister. My brother said I had 2 choices. 1, I could suck it up and sleep beside my girlfriend, which might lead to something more happening, or 2, I could sleep on the couch. I was hurt that they couldn't understand where I was coming from, but ended up sleeping on the couch. The next day, my girlfriend told me that she was sad it seemed like my sister didn't like her. My sister didn't talk to my girlfriend the whole night, she only talked to our brother. I confronted my sister about this and she told me to fuck off. This made me angry because I was just trying to have a conversation with her. I tried telling her that she needs to be more respectful. She stormed off. Now she, my brother, and even my mum are angry at me. Am I the arsehole? Now we're going to have to rewind to the start here. There's 2 rooms, and one of the rooms was for the parents obviously, and the other one was for everyone else with 2 double beds. And you're worried that sleeping next to your girlfriend, you're not going to be able to hold yourself back having sex, probably in front of all your brothers and sisters. What the hell, man? You ain't got that self-control. I mean, if you lack that self-control, you should be sleeping on the couch. Jeez, you sound... I'm not going to say it. I was going to say you sound almost dangerous, but that's a bit too much, right? So it makes OP instantly the arsehole for the lack of self-control. And you know, you didn't explain none of the relationship between the girlfriend and the sister telling her to fuck off, but so we don't know none of that, so we can't really judge that too much. I assume the girlfriend has done something where she doesn't like. I don't think she would instantly turn on your girlfriend and dislike her for absolutely nothing, so I think there's something deeper there, but we don't know. And I can't blame her for not wanting to sleep next to your girlfriend, because why would she want to sleep next to someone she doesn't really know that well, I guess, when she could sleep next to her brother. So yes, in my opinion, you are the arsehole in this situation, but we're going to dive down to the comments to see what we can find. And it looks like Rock Pervert pretty much says the same as I said. The 2 beds were in the same room. Are you suggesting that the temptation to have sex with your girlfriend is so real that you would have done it in front of your siblings? I get removing yourself from temptation, but this makes it seem like you completely lack self-control. Mesofolis says, OP, even a user by the name of Rock Pervert judges your lack of control over sexual urges. You know you effed up. And someone follows that by saying, hey, no kink shaming. Rock Pervert, you legend. I'm a Goblin Shark says, you're the arsehole if in your 30s and can't control temptation. There's something wrong with you. And don't try to bring your religion into this. People can control themselves without using religion as an excuse. Walter O'Dim says, you're the arsehole, so is your girlfriend. You don't get to tell your sister where she sleeps or who she sleeps next to. Also, the fact that you're worried you'd have sex while your brother and sister were in the same room is creepy and gross. Bruh says, you're the arsehole. Honestly, it's a little disturbing that you think you can't lay next to a girl and not have sex with her. And the final story comes from Conflicted Dad 101. Am I the arsehole for threatening to cut my daughter off financially if she is adamant on having a baby? Dear God, this situation is a mess. I am 48 male and my daughter is 23. Her mother died when she was 12, so it's just been me and her for a long time. For context, I'll call my daughter Mandy. Mandy was a mess after her mum died, and I was too, as we were happily married and she died suddenly when she was only 37. It took a long time for us to heal, especially Mandy. She ended up spending years doing very badly in school, and only in the last few years got the same qualifications at college level and started a history and politics degree last year, and she's expected to go into second year at September. She became very driven and did remarkably well in her first year, and I'm very proud of her. However, she started associating with a crowd of people and she changed drastically. These kids believe in basically not working and living off of other people's money, so you never have to do anything for money in life. I was slightly alarmed and just said to Mandy to be careful, but it was clear she started to believe this. She is now dating one of these kids and has recently been talking about quitting her job, jacking in university and basically having a baby so she can get as much state benefit as she can and have all this money without having to work for it. Now, I currently pay for her tuition and other things like her phone, and she doesn't work that much, and she has even jokingly said I could use all that tuition money to fund her new lifestyle. I told her if she was hellbent on having a kid purely to reap state benefits, it was a horrible thing to do, and I would cut her off financially from everything. I said it was a horrible idea, as there are people who genuinely need that money, and to bring a kid into this world for selfish reasons is even shittier. Well, she kicked off saying I couldn't support her dream. I said it wasn't a dream at all, and that she had everything going for her, and she would be an idiot to throw it all away, and that I wasn't going to support it at all. She thinks I'm the biggest arsehole in the world for not giving her free money, and she somehow even convinced my mum and former mother-in-law that I'm somehow being sexist by expecting her not to do certain things in order for me to keep providing for her. The only person who is actually on my side seems to be my brother, who thinks Mandy is acting crazy. Am I the arsehole? Edit. No, Mandy isn't currently pregnant, but she's definitely planning it, and it's clear she is literally planning on bringing a kid in the world for money, not love. Also accidentally put her real name at the end, but changed it. I'm not sure if I'm going to get shot down on this one or not. I'm kind of, well, not conflicted. In my views, you can't let that behaviour continue. I mean, what kind of mindset is that going through life? Let's have a baby and live off the state. That's not a great mindset to have. The baby isn't going to, it's not going to be good for no one in this situation. That's all I'm going to say. It can't be good for anyone to think like this. And I would totally back OP taking away any money from that. That's not a dream, like she said. The dream to live off the state. I mean, what the fuck, man? As OP said, people truly need that money. You know, people are suffering, people are homeless, people need help. And for someone to abuse that, you know, fuck them. And for the mums to saying it's sexist. How is that sexist in any way whatsoever? He's not saying she can never have a baby. He's just saying don't use a baby for money. What the hell? Let's go down to the comments below to see what we can see. Umbrella Like Wetness says, wait, it's sexist to expect a person to be able to support their own life. Pretty sure the feminists have spent the last 50 years fighting for the right to work and earn, so tell your mother-in-law to take it up with them, not the arsehole. Kelly Margaret says, not the arsehole, that's such a ridiculous viewpoint of life nowadays. I don't think she realises what a disappointing life that will be. OP just replies, she just isn't listening. Underbugler replies to this saying, not the arsehole, this is insane and so narcissistic, it's amazing. She needs help if she thinks this is how the world works. You are 100% correct in not enabling her to become a useless piece of society that only wants a child for welfare. Judge 1492 also replies to this, all you can do is state clearly what you will and won't do based on her choices, be firm and fair, and follow through. If she's not actually going to class and take advantage of her education, then tell her not to keep going and find a tradecraft or something she wants to do. And finally, I'm going to turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of the story? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 5. Once again guys, thank you for being here. If you did enjoy this story, there's another one on your screen right now. Click it, watch it, it helps the channel and hopefully you get something out of it too. If you made it this far, I really hope you do. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the members, the subscribers and all the support. Much love to you and I will see you in the next one. Take care now guys. Goodbye. Much love.